So imagine this. Carol Seaver, straight A student, the voice of reason, suddenly finds herself dating Darth Vader and a convict, and Webster. Well, all three are kind of true. Sounds intriguing, right? Well, IMDb voters didn't think so. They ranked this episode Growing Pains Season 6, Episode 20, called Not With My Carol You Don't. They ranked it in the bottom 10 of the entire series. Actually, the very bottom. This one is on the fringe of being a very special episode, too. I can explain. Paul here. I'm an actor and former radio host. Do I think this was the worst Growing Pains episode? It's got some problems. But IMDb voters say yep, with 5.8 out of 10 stars. And who am I to argue with the internet tally? Stick around because by the end we'll figure out if this episode deserves to be locked away in TV prison or just guilty of bad timing. It's kind of a wild one. For context, Growing Pains was a classic family sitcom, kinda, about psychiatrist dad Jason Seaver, played by Alan Thicke, mom Maggie, played by Joanna Kearns, and their 4 kids. By season 6, though, the show was, well, you know what happens to aging sitcoms. Oh, yeah. Now, add in this episode's guest star, Scott Lawrence, later famous for Jag and for being the voice of Darth Vader in at least 3 video games, and you've got a recipe for what should have been a standout. Instead, fans say it fell flat. So what happened? Oh boy, it's quite a tale. Jason decides daughter Carol needs to see more of the real world, so being a sitcom dad, he has her join him and volunteer at the free clinic. Sounds wholesome, right? But here's where it comes off the rails a bit. At the clinic, Carol meets Webster Winslow, an ex-convict trying to turn his life around. Yeah, she helps him with his schoolwork, and soon enough they're going on kind of a date. Now let's get this out of the way right now. His name on the show is Webster. Not a common name, right? And the show Webster just wrapped up on the same network a couple years earlier. It just seems an odd choice of character names. Anyway, here's where it really goes a little cuckoo. Carol goes on a date with him. While they're at the diner, the owner suddenly recognizes Webster as the guy who mugged him 2 years earlier. Awkward. The owner calls the cops, pulls a gun, and in a panic, Webster does the one thing you don't want to do when trying to prove you're reformed and on a date. He grabs $10 from the cash register, steals the gun, and runs. Talk about picking up the tab. Yeah, he literally recommits a robbery on his date with Carol. But wait, it gets heavier. Jason is at home trying to find a way to tell Joanna that he okayed his daughter's date to a guy from the rehab place. In a particularly odd occurrence, they're playing Scrabble and Joanne just happens to come up with the word ex-con. Right. Anyway, in the end, racked with guilt, Webster shows up at the Seavers' house, admits what happened, and asks Jason to take him to the police. Carol's left heartbroken, Jason's lesson backfires, and the laugh track doesn't exactly lighten the mood. By the end, Carol's wide-eyed innocence is crushed, and so is the upbeat sitcom mode. Was this a special episode or not? I can't tell anymore. Look, we need to talk about this one, though. Hey, if you're enjoying this trip through sitcom purgatory, go ahead, hit that like button, please, and ring the notification bell, because next time, I might just stumble onto an episode even specialer. Huh? Sometimes I invent words. All right, so why did this land in the bottom? A few possible reasons. Weird ending. Most Growing Pains episodes end with hugs and lessons. This looked like it was going to have a plausible ending, that the guy wasn't a crook, he just stole the $10 for, cab money. It was never explained why he only took $10 out of the full cash register. It was weird. Carol's character logic. She's usually sharp, but here she goes from judgmental to smitten in a heartbeat. And not back. Viewers didn't buy it. The contrived plot. The diner owner just happens to recognize Webster. Webster just happens to relapse in the middle of Carol's date. Feels like the writers forced the drama instead of letting it unfold naturally. Very little Mike. Yeah, I said it. Maybe a lot of season 6 shows were almost Mikeless. I don't know. But this one sure was. He maybe had 2 minutes of screen time and about 3 lines. I thought he was funny, in his dumb way. So is Not With My Carol You Don't truly the worst Growing Pains ever? Also a 6-word episode title? Come on, give me a break. All right, it might be the worst episode. It's definitely a total misfire that had audience saying, we just wanted Mike to crack a joke, not Webster on a crime spree. Thanks for watching. Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, also hit the bell so you'll know next time when there's a very special Worst episode ever. Wait a minute. That didn't sound good.